Oh. When you sit down and you hear your knees crack. Good, great, aging, awesome, no problem. And on that note, welcome to the marathon. My name's Mare. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I would love it if you laced up and subscribed today. Join the Marathoner family. There's a link down below to join the private Facebook group and also to subscribe. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers, so I'd love it if you could help me hit that. That'd be amazing. Today we're gonna answer another Ask Mare question, and this was from the Marathoner Facebook group. So to the marathoner who posted this, I apologize that it's taken me a couple of weeks to get to it, but here we are. So she said, I'm really good at being busy, like really good, and recently that's come to a head, and I know I have to prioritize and slow life down. It's really hard mentally to get around slowing down and not thinking of myself as lazy because I've always been on the go, as I thought that was the thing to do. I feel you, girl, feel you. It doesn't make me happy. I'm on overload and I'm just overwhelmed right now. Because of my personality, type A, perfectionist, I know it's not something I'm going to be able to do overnight, so I've given myself to the end of the year to eliminate some things and slow down. I love that. It's so type A. That's so like me too. And then I'd love to know what you've done to slow down and feel less overwhelmed. Girl, yes, yes. I'm sure there's many of you that are like, yes, I can relate because so many of us can. I think you're not alone. I can relate. Lots of other people can relate as well. And that's why I wanted to answer this question in a video rather than just answer it in the thread that happened in the Facebook group. And I didn't read any of the other marathoners' answers because I wanted to just give you my thoughts on it. I can totally relate for a few reasons. I think there is this, you know, highlight reel mentality on social media. So you see people doing all kinds of stuff all the time and you think you have to keep up. I think, like, I've even had people in my life say that to me, and it could not be further from the truth. So that's why I am very mindful to, you know, show that I am fallible as well in my videos, like crying, no makeup, struggling, or asking you questions like I did a couple of videos ago when I had that rough encounter with that woman. I never want to appear perfect, and we all know that she's not, so don't worry. So I have so many thoughts on this, and I'll try and keep them condensed. Doubt it. I'm gonna take a sip of water. That's how uncondensed this is gonna be. Sit down, relax, get a drink, pause if you need to. You've already done more than you think you have by acknowledging that you need to chill out a bit and you need to have less on your plate. So self high five, girl. You know that this isn't sustainable. It's not making you happy and you're trying to change. So another good job. I think the place to start would be for me, it would be to physically write it out and to journal and to free write, brain dump, make a list, whatever works for you. What makes you happy? And currently, what does not make you happy? I did this about 4 years ago when things were super hard. I was filling a journal about every 2 months. That's how much I was writing. When Jeremy was first suicidal and things were incredibly difficult, I would just write and write and write and write and write. And for me, journaling is great because there gets to a point where no one wants to hear you like bitch and complain anymore. And B, you don't want any other like outside opinions. You need to do what's best for you and not what everyone else thinks. It's great to get advice, but if you were to write down in your journal like what's working for you and what's not working for you, what's overwhelming you and what like lights you up and fills you up. And then there's also just, you know, the stuff that we all have to do day to day, that adulting, right? So once you have the list of things that you love, great, let's gravitate towards those. Once you have the things that aren't lighting you up, really look at those and think, what can I give up? What can I make easier? Or why isn't this making me happy? So for example, something for me that used to be so time consuming and a real point of contention in our house was keeping the house clean. And so we got a house cleaner and like, wow, the skies open up. Your time opens up. Like no longer was I spending so much time on the weekend cleaning. or feeling like I had to clean during the week. I wasn't wondering like, oh, why hasn't he cleaned? And he wasn't like, why hasn't she cleaned? You know, it wasn't this thing. So we got a house cleaner every other week. It was so great. And to me, it was worth budgeting for it, you know, like going to Starbucks less or eating out less or what have you. Like, figure out what your priorities are and then make them happen. So I wish I knew what some of the things were that were overwhelming you, and you said it was just being busy all the time. And I can relate to this, being this woman, single parent, entrepreneur, on the radio, child with special needs, widow, runs a YouTube channel. Like, we could just keep going. And those are my things. We all have those like millions of things that we could list off. So if you're feeling really busy and you don't want to be anymore, I get you, because I felt like this too. At some point last year, I realized that my time management was pretty shit. And so what I did is I started to really track how I was spending my day, and I was appalled at how much time I was spending on social media. You probably think I'm on socials all the time because you see me posting and commenting and liking and in the Facebook group and posting videos. I am not. Even though my business, my job, how I like support my mortgage and my home and my son is a social media consulting firm, and I'm not on socials all day anymore. I'm very specific about my time and my time management. And I also, like, if I'm doing one thing, I'm doing that one thing instead of like picking up my phone or doing something else. It's a little bit difficult, obviously, having a 7-year-old, because sometimes that one thing turns into like 40 other things. But for the most part, I try to, like, if I'm making dinner, I'm just gonna make dinner. And then it takes like half the amount of time. So I'm not like on my phone or watering the plants or deciding to sweep or blah, blah, blah. So I would say really look at what's important to you, what's not important to you, what can you give up, what can you task out, what can you just let go of. What else did I let go of? Things like, I'm trying to think, because now it's so, oh, I know one thing that I gave up was always trying to try new recipes. You know, like when it was the 3 of us, I would meal plan every week, I would grocery shop, I would plan out everything we were gonna eat. I was always trying new recipes. And then after Jer died, I basically was just like happy that I was feeding Thomas, and I felt super guilty that I wasn't like providing the type of food that I once did, or I wasn't trying new recipes, but I just wasn't as excited to, being single. And, you know, my therapist was like, you're both being fed, you're eating a vegetable, it's fine, you need to stop. And once I let go of that, I feel like you and I, these busy people who like to keep busy and feel like that's the expectation, we're just putting that expectation on ourselves. Nobody else is. Nobody else is doing this to us. So really get real with yourself and be like, what can you let go of? I got to a point where it was like, I am fed, Thomas is fed, we've both showered, he's going to school, the business is running, we're good. And okay, so those are my first few tips. So look at what you can get rid of, let go of it, guilt-free. Look at your time management and see where you are like just faffing around to fill the time. Also set aside time for yourself that is that rejuvenation time. We need to rest and we need to recuperate and rejuvenate, and like that to me is another form of being busy because it's purposeful. So, you know, like for the longest time, I would put Thomas to bed, I would tidy the main floor of the house, turn off all the lights, and then come upstairs to bed. And I would just like be on my phone, I'd read, I'd watch some TV, chat to people, whatever. But I would have like my mag oil, a bath, my sleepy time tea, and it was my time. And for a while, I would feel really guilty because my bedroom is right there. And right now we're in my office. So I would feel so guilty, like, oh, I know, like I have this million of like list of to-dos that I need to do. And then I started to look at rest and sleep as a positive, because then during the day I had much more energy. I was much more focused, much more productive. Like, since I've been able to fix my sleep and I've been able to be much better at time management. I am so much more productive in such less time. And so I'm still, but I don't feel busy, like stressful, like I'm always trying to keep up or I'm always trying to do the next thing. I also think that once you can consolidate what you have to do in a day, manage your time better, and just simplify things, you'll find that you do things better. Like the quality of work that I produce is better, and you know, my relationships are better because of it, because I have more time. I'm not constantly thinking like, oh, what's the next thing? Like, yeah, I'm busy, but if I'm spending time with you, I'm not busy. Like, this is me like purposely making the time and making the effort and knowing that it's important, and just like slowing down. Also, I would maybe reflect on with whom you're spending your time. If you have all friends who really think that busy is like something that you always have to be, maybe like look at that. Maybe give me a call. We can hang out, sit and do nothing, drink wine. Happy to help you slow down, girl. This is gonna be a little bit of tough love, Mare, but I also think that it's important to reflect on why you feel like you have to always be busy. Often I think we're busy because we're avoiding something, and that if you slow down, that thing is gonna like rear its ugly head. So we just continually are busy so we don't have to stop and think for 5 seconds. I've been there, trust me. And then, you know, once I became a widow, I spent a lot of time like quietly reflecting and thinking about what I wanted my life to look like and Thomas's life to look like, and was like manifesting things and meditating and doing yoga. And it's hard work. I'm not saying any of this is going to be easy, but if you're busy to avoid emotion, those emotions are never going to go away. They're just going to manifest in other really shitty ways, like body pain or illness, or just like things that you would never expect. Like, for example, my foot. If you've been watching my videos for a few years, you know that I have plantar fasciitis in my foot. And it got to a point, I think last year, where I could barely walk. It was so painful. And then A, I started taking care of it. B, I started resting and forcing myself to sit down. It was so hard to sit in my foot brace that I was like, whoa, this is eye-opening. And I became like calmer and happier and taking care of myself. My foot never hurts anymore, like ever. I couldn't tell you the last time that I was limping or I even really felt a pang of pain. They're definitely related, for sure, for sure, for sure. If you're super busy all the time and you don't want to be, you don't have to be. I don't want this to sound like I'm oversimplifying it and I'm making it seem like I just lay around and eat chips all day and like drink coffee and sit on my phone. No, I do not. If you watch my vlogs, you know I hustle, I'm busy. But I also, like in 2017, when my life totally shattered, I started to have such an aversion to people saying that they were busy and that it was like a badge of honor. Like, you can go back, there's a video that I posted that literally is called "Busy is not a badge of honor." No. No. How about I am balanced? Girl, I'm relaxing tonight, you know? And I have like my work hours, even though I work from home, so that I can have my downtime in the evening and not feel guilty about it. Not feel like, oh, I really should be working, or like, oh, I have this thing to do. You know, it's there, but it's just different. So I hope that these tips helped. I really would love a follow-up from you and let us know what you did, like in the group, if any of these helped, or if you need more specific clarification or examples. We're all busy and we're always all gonna be super busy. There's just no getting around it. Like, there's a reason why I have 3 jobs, you know? We all have mortgages, we all have mouths to feed, we all have vacations we wanna go on and retirement that we wanna do. But it doesn't have to be, you can choose how you want to spend your time, especially when you're not working. I know we all have different circumstances, whether it's kids or marital stuff or work or parents or whatever. So I'm not trying to oversimplify and say that this is an easy solution. This is now something that I've been working on for probably 4 years. So if you don't like nail your end of the year mark, that's okay. But please look at what you have done instead of what you have not done. That's also, I think, a trap that we get into is like, we're super busy, but we accomplished something and we're on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And like for me, I found I wasn't even enjoying my celebrations or my projects finishing or, you know, getting a new client or like some big thing happening on YouTube. I was just like on to the next video on, and like, it's like, it's such a grind. So try and enjoy what is happening. Can I ever make a short video? I don't think so. Maybe you're just gonna have to come up with that mantra and keep saying it in your head. Busy is not a badge of honor. Busy is not a badge of honor. You know what's a badge of honor? Chilling out with your husband, hanging out with your kids, getting some wine with your girlfriends right here, relaxing, reading a book, going for a walk, going to yoga class. Like, these are all things that you can look at. They are ways in which you will be feeding your soul, your mind, your body, your heart, and then your work will reflect that. Okay. That is a long video and I could give you probably 10 more tips on this. So thanks for the question. Leave some more Ask Mares in the Facebook group down below. You can DM me on Instagram or on Facebook, wherever. And we'll answer some more questions in the next one. Oh my gosh. Okay, cheers. Thank you for the question and I'll see you soon. Bye.